So English is everything's going to close on Wednesday. So 6 days from today, you will no longer be able to turn in. Like if you try to turn 1 week from today, you try to turn in English, Ortiz is going to be like, nah, my modules are closed. So please do make sure if you're working on English at all, you're turning in by Wednesday. Thursday is a big day. History, physics, and Spanish are all closing on the same day on Thursday. I also was going to close on Thursday, and then I was like, nah, let me not do that to them. I did, so math is Friday. You're welcome. Please, please, please pass your classes because Amy doesn't want to deal with you in credit recovery. So awkward. Pass your classes. Amy doesn't like you. Just kidding. JK. I think she's JK. I don't know. Awkward. Brittany doesn't want to deal with you either. So pass your classes. Here's my other pump moment is that we need to be team no C's. C's are like the worst grade. I mean, they're obviously not, but y'all are mostly passing your classes. But C's kill your GPA. So like team A's and B's only, especially in this virtual world, because when you talk to colleges and like college acceptance people, they're always like C pluses. C's are like your grades are showcasing like your work ethic. And when you get a C plus, it means you were like this close to having a B and you didn't get it. You know what I mean? And so if you have, if you're just trying to pass your classes right now, I get it, no problem. But like if you're thinking about college and you're thinking about trying to make it happen for yourself, then trying to push out of that C plus range, that C, Miss Crenshaw always says C plus is the worst grade because it means like you could have had a B and you didn't. And that's really helpful for your GPA, getting a 3 instead of a 2 for your GPA. Trojan tutors, NHS, SHS, and TAs are all gonna have to work during the break if you don't pass your classes. So make it happen. Yeah, Stephanie, as a senior, C's are not worth it, right? C's are like the worst. Do you have any experience with C's, Stephanie? Do you want to tell us anything?
I was very close to a C with AP Calc this year. And let me tell you, it is not worth it. No, it's not worth it. You'll get to college applications and you'll really think about it. Like I really let that one thing slide. If you're that close to a B, put in that extra work, stay up another hour, 30 minutes, whatever, and it'll pay off more than you can imagine.
It's real life from Stephanie Ramirez. Steph, this is why we need you here all the time. Facts, so many facts. All right, team. Just a reminder for those of you who are still working on a few extra assignments, no shame, no worries. Just means your name is somewhere here if I am missing. I just put your name once for these assignments, so you might be missing multiple or you might need to resubmit multiple, but I put the first one that I saw. So if you see your name here, do double check Canvas for me, please. PT Task 1, we had really great submissions for PT Task 1, like shout out to Stephanie for making it so easy for us. But if you do see your name here, please submit or resubmit your PT Task 1. That being said, even if you didn't do Task 1, we're going to do Task 2 today. We're going to make it happen. So let's go ahead. I'm going to find the link. Here is the link for PT Task 2. Please go ahead and make a copy right now. Make a copy right now if you have not yet. If you have already turned in this document, please just chat me the word blue and I will double check your submission. I think I saw a couple of you submitted. So if you're trying to get out of here, you don't want to listen to our thing you already submitted, then let me know. And I'll dismiss you. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and take some notes on this doc. I wanted to shout out some amazing notes I saw from this class. Angelica doing it for us with bold and just like simple bullet points. I love that. Angela, I loved that when Angela was taking her notes, she wrote down things that weren't in the slides, right? She wrote down things like when 18 person has to be super responsible for either credit or debit card. For sure, we talked about that like a million times, but it wasn't in the slides. So I really appreciated that she wrote down some things she added in her own details. Other great notes. I loved Ashley N's notes. She had some underlining business happening. JR, happy birthday once again. JR had some underlining happening on his like paper version which I really appreciated too. So shout out to Ashley and to JR. And then also had some like above and beyond humans out here with like highlighting. Yes, I love a good highlight, and highlighting on paper. I love a good highlight there. So Brittany and Imani, thank you for showing up and showing out with that. Thank you for showing out with that, with those highlights. So this is what good notes look like. That's what we're gonna do for our class today. And Stephanie is gonna roll us through some notes on budgeting and saving. Budgeting and saving. Stephanie, take it away.
Okay, so on Monday, we touched on credit and debit cards. And so now we're going to learn how to manage all the money in your debit and credit cards. Okay, so once again, I pulled some questions from the Google form from last week that you guys had. So the questions that we're going to be able to answer by the end of the lesson will be, what can I use to keep track of my money? Is there a way to determine what I need and want? How can I teach myself to budget my money? And how do I properly manage my money? Okay, so quick little side note, in the top right corner, you guys are going to see either a red or a green box. If it's a red box, you do not need to take notes on that slide, but if it's a green box, make sure to take notes. Okay, so we're going to start with the number one thing you should take away from this entire presentation, which is to pay yourself first. In order to be successful within budgeting, saving, anything that has to do with your money, make sure that you always pay yourself first. So now, the difference between budgeting and saving is that budgeting is a plan that you decide in advance, which will determine how you're going to spend your money for the month. And it's also kind of like a way of making sure that you don't run out of money. And when it comes to saving, this is just finding ways to reduce your spending and making sure that you don't use this money. And it can be done through the bank or investing funds.
For sure. I would highlight for sure, if you're gonna, like, reminder, you don't need to write down everything. There's no reason to just like copy and paste this slide onto your notes. That's like MBD. I would probably write pay yourself first. That's the first thing I write. And then I would write budgeting and saving, like budgeting, a plan to make more money, or sorry, a plan to on how you're going to spend your money, and then saving, a plan for what you're going to do with your money that you don't spend. Okay. Coolio. Let's jump into some vocabulary.
Okay, so one of our key vocabulary words or phrase, I guess, is emergency fund. And this is money that you're going to save in case of an emergency. So this can be a hospital trip, because I know people don't plan hospital trips. So that's something that just comes out of the blue. And this is your what if money. You know, you never know what's going to happen, so you always need to have that backup money in case you can't spend like $1,000 right here on the spot. The next one is flexible expenses, which is a monthly expense that can be reduced or changed. So for example, your groceries. I don't know about you guys, but when we go grocery shopping, it doesn't always come out to the same price every single time. But this is something that we need to purchase every single month, which is why it's a flexible expense. And then needs are only what's 100,000% essential. So your Starbucks is not essential, so it's not a need. Which leads us into the wants, which is the things that can wait to be purchased, which is exactly your Starbucks. You don't always have to have your Starbucks or your Dunkin' or those branded coffees, and you can live without those.
For sure. Steph, can you clear slide 8 real fast?
Yes.
Perfect. Do we have any questions about budgeting and saving? Anything that we're like thinking of top of mind? Like, what are some questions that we had? Like, Miss, how much do we need to save? Or like anything like that? Stephanie's just getting ready our little activity next. Awesome. Cool. All right, Steph, you ready?
Yes. So before we jump into more notes, we're going to determine what is considered a need and a want. So we're going to play a quick activity where you guys have a few seconds to jump into the chat and give me the most recent expenses that you guys made or purchases. So new shoes, you guys went out to eat food, you bought controllers for your PS4, PS5, Xbox, whatever you guys play. So go ahead and drop them in the chat.
So what were the last 3 things that you purchased? Blanket, cool. Or just like think about some things that you might like want or need, or like maybe what you saw your parents spend last, if you can't think of something. Lip balm, yes. Laundry, groceries, jewelry, baking business supplies, candles, Subway. You mean like Subway? Oh, Subway like food. Yeah, probably sandwich. I was thinking like the Metro, but no, you're right. Skincare, book, blue light glasses, Pokemon cards, food, Apple bills. I haven't used my money in years. Yeah, I like that idea. All right, Steph, take us away for Marie.
Okay, so I'm going to read off of the chat that I can see. And so then you guys are going to tell me whether it's a need or a want. So we're going to start with the blue light glasses that, oh, was it blue? Okay, so that's a want.
All right.
Absolutely. What about the jewelry and candles?
Got some votes for
Okay,
one.
again, another want. We have skincare supplies and food.
Ooh, we got some votes for need this time. So skincare, right? Like things to keep your face like surviving for sure. That could be a need. And then what was the other one? Food.
Yes.
Yeah, and y'all like when we're saying food here, right? We're talking about like house food, right? Like house food, like I don't know, different things. House food, like like bread, eggs, like things you can make at the house, maybe ramen or something, right? Probably like a want for me is like like date night food or like restaurant food, right? Like takeout. Like those things can be more of like wants, right? For sure. Blanca would like to make an argument that there's an in between because her eyes were hurting. So like maybe she really needed, so like maybe like things like maybe like medical needs like blue light glasses. How do you feel about that, Blanca? Better? Better, okay. It also doesn't, just because something is a want doesn't mean that it's like a bad thing, right? Like it's totally fine to get Starbucks once in a while, right? We're just thinking about the difference between like what we really, really need and what we want. For sure, for sure. All right, take it away, Steph.
Okay, so we're gonna do just a few more examples. Apple bills. Okay, that one depends. Was it like your Apple Music, your phone bill? Was it Apple TV? I know Apple TV is another.
Yeah, like what would be a need out of those ones, Stephanie? Which would you say is a need?
The need would be the phone bill, absolutely, because then you can't use your phone. But Apple Music and stuff like that, you don't necessarily need it. It's definitely a want.
Apple Music or like paying for Spotify. Antwane, you want to make an argument?
Yes. Okay. So what if like basically Like for me, I cannot concentrate without like listening to music, or like if I'm doing an assignment by myself, I have to like listen to music and do stuff like that. So it's like it helps you mentally. So wouldn't that be like a need for some time?
Yeah, I mean, if it's impacting your mental health, man, like maybe
Wait, I have
Antwane,
a counter argument.
counter argument.
Yeah,
Go,
you
Miss
can
Yama.
have free access on YouTube and whatnot. You don't have to pay for that, right? But okay, so if you think it's like too like annoying to have to click to different songs, you can make a playlist. So that's also accessible if you have internet access. But yeah.
Ooh, so
True,
then,
but I hate ads. That's the thing.
I mean, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? That's the thing. Liza says make
Why
your
don't you
own
take
sound.
the ad as your breaks? Like if it's an ad, that's your pee break, that's your water break, that's your let me stand up and stretch break.
Maybe. Okay, but in order to access this, what do we need, right? In order to use YouTube, what is something that we actually really need? Maybe we don't pay for it, but someone pays for it at our house. Wi-Fi, yes, Amy. We need some Wi-Fi up in here, right? We need some Wi-Fi up in here for sure. Wi-Fi. What other like bills? Like we have our phone bill, we have our Wi-Fi bill. What other kind of bills do we have that your parents like probably pay for or your family pays for? Water, water bill. What other bills do we have? Light, power, rent, gas, both your gas bill and for your car, right? Ooh, y'all are blowing up the chat now. I can't type fast enough. Insurance, tapping off the screen. Here we go. Yeah, think about all these things. Like, let's think about the fact that like if you ask me, Antwane, I'm with you. I hate ads. I'm a big heck no on the ads, right? I pay for Spotify. I hate it so much. I pay for Spotify for my whole family. I use Spotify family. But if I'm thinking about all of these things I have to pay for first, right? Like if you ask me like, do I want music or do I want Wi-Fi? I'm choosing Wi-Fi. If you ask me like, do I want Wi-Fi or do I want light, like electricity? I'm probably choosing electricity, right? If you ask me if I want to pay my rent or if I want to have like no ads, I'm probably going to talk about rent first, right? So I'm thinking like even within the needs, there's like a hierarchy of like which ones are more important than others, right? For sure. All right, Steph, are we ready to move?
Yes, ma'am, we can move on.
Cool. Team, we have 2 more slides of notes and then your notes will be finished. So let's check it out. Steph, talk to us.
Okay, so now we determined our needs and our wants, we need to know how we're really gonna make sure that the money goes to where it needs. And the number one thing here is self-discipline. So I really, really believe that it's a mental thing. You know, you can't be telling yourself, I'm gonna save money, I'm gonna stop going to Starbucks, I'm gonna stop going to Target, when 2 seconds later you can be at the Starbucks line or the Target line or something, you know? So there's this thing called the 50-20-30 rule, which is the percent of your paycheck that goes towards these needs. So 50% of your paycheck can start going to your needs, 20% to your savings, and then 30% to your wants. So your needs, of course, are your phone bill, water, electricity, all that. And then your savings, you know, can be for retirement. You know, you might want to go on a trip next summer, this summer. And then your wants are making sure that you get, you know, your Starbucks, Target, Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out, all that good stuff. So at the end of the day, though, this really just depends on your living situations. Sometimes you're going to need more than 50% for those bills. Sometimes you can put less into those into that category, which means that obviously the other two are going to change depending on how much you invest for your needs. Okay, so to make sure that we have all of this flowing correctly, we put some methods for both budgeting and saving. So for budgeting, one of the most common methods is the envelope method, which works best with cash. And it's essentially, you can put like a binder, a folder or something, and label all of these little pockets to go towards your bills, towards your rent, towards your car payments, phone, and all that. Um, and you would do this at the beginning of the month so that by the time your payment comes around, you have that money already saved and put to the side so that you're not struggling later and you can't pay off or you end up paying late. And another one that we have is traditional budgeting, which is more common for electronic cash. And for this, I mean, it could be a lot easier if you use an app. Some people can do Google Sheets, or like my mom, she uses a piece of paper. Sometimes it's her calendar where she just writes down like, my Victoria's Secret payment is on the 4th, the Target payment is on the 10th, the phone is on the 24th. So just stuff like that where you can keep track of all of your payments and stuff. So for saving, it's more of setting goals and being realistic with yourself. You know, you can, this month I'm gonna save $100 when realistically you're probably gonna save like 50. So don't put yourself to say, I'm gonna save X amount when realistically you can't. So one of the methods that you can use to set these goals is the piggy bank method, which for me, it's where I have a little Christmas box and I am putting money in there for my college tuition and expenses. So every time I get like a lottery ticket, every time I come across a $5 bill, a $10 bill, or just like loose change that I have, it's just going in there and I am not able to touch it at all. And another thing that I put in there are gift cards because I got a lot of Starbucks gift cards for my birthday. And I know very, very well that I'm going to spend a lot of my money there. So might as well start saving up those gift cards so that later you can use those up. And be very, very, very realistic on your priorities, which will help you cut your spending. So you can't say that Starbucks is a priority when realistically it really isn't. You can always have coffee at home.
Awesome. Thanks, Steph, for sharing those. I can share with you how I budget, y'all. I use an app, like I do, I guess, traditional budgeting, mostly because I just don't have cash. I never have cash. And so the envelope method, I tried it for a little while and then I was like, oh, this is hard because it means you have to have a lot of cash on hand. So it's hard for me. It definitely works for other people. And I know it worked for my parents when we were growing up. So I use an app it's called Truebill, right? So it looks like this, Truebill. That's the app that I use. And the app is pretty cool. It like lets you set, I'm going to scramble my data. So this is not actually my money. But basically it hooks up to your like credit cards and your debit cards and your like income, all of your accounts. And then it tracks like how much you've spent each month so far. So like this is not mine. I have not spent almost $9,000, but $9,000 this month. And then that white line shows you like the month from like March 1st until March 18th. And then the dark blue line behind it shows you like how much you spent last year or the year, or I'm sorry, last month. So I'm like, according to this, spending a little bit more than I was spending last month. And what's cool about it is it lets you set your categories, for like the different things that you are like wanting to buy. And then it basically like adds up everything for you. And it tells you like how much money you have left. So right now it's telling me that I have like $1,900 left for this month, which is about $146 per day, right? Because there are 13 days left. So it does a lot of the like math parts for you. And so like this one's telling me like I have $119 left for food for this month. I have $70 left for gas this month. And it's telling me like I'm $200 over for my car payment this month, right? I paid extra on my car. So basically it like adds up all of those things and it tells you how much money you have left for each day. So you can budget your day like a little bit better kind of thing. So it's a really cool app for traditional budgeting. And then for savings, I use just extra accounts. They're called sub accounts in my bank account. So most bank accounts come with a checking account and a savings account. Those are like pretty standard. And then you can add what's called a sub account. And I have 4 sub accounts on my, I have 4 sub accounts on mine. And like one is like a saving, like I'm saving for my car, for like a new car. That's what I do with one of them. One of them I'm saving for the summer. I don't get paid during the summer. So like when y'all go away, I don't get paid anymore because I'm not working. So I don't get paid in July. So that means that I like every single paycheck pay a little bit to myself to that account, to that sub account, so that when July comes, I can still pay my rent and like have that information. One is like an emergency fund, like we were talking about at the very beginning, so that I always have like money around. And then one is for my like contributions. So I like to give a little bit of my money away every month. Some people do this through their church. Some people do this through organizations. I choose sort of where I want the money to go each month, but that's really important to me that I'm like giving back to the communities that I'm a part of. And so it's important for me to do that. That's not like a normal budgeting thing. That's just something that like, if you are someone who wants to give back, you can like support communities through your financial giving. And I wanted to make sure that that was like a routine part of my life. So I have like a separate sub account for that money so I don't accidentally spend it. Right? If that makes sense. So those are like the different methods for budgeting and saving. So now that we've chatted through some methods for budgeting and saving, I want us to think about some of the questions that we're going to see here on our assignment for sure. Ashley, Clio is a good app of online shopping and it keeps you in check and it roasts you. This is true. Ashley, I have Clio too. I forgot. I've been telling you about it. I haven't been telling about it today, but Clio literally will look at your bank account. It'll look at your spending and it will seriously roast you if you are spending too much money at Starbucks. It'll be like, you spent $200 at Starbucks this month. Like, is that really how you wanted to spend your money? And then it'll be like, are you for real right now? It like will, and it's like a little text message thing. It's so funny. You got to try it. It's called Clio. Clio. It's so bomb. Actually, I love that app. I totally forgot. Clio will legit roast you. I like crack up laughing with that thing. All right. So if we're in PT Talk 2, you should have your notes here. Y'all are like taking notes. And then for part 1, you're going to have like a scenario. So let's say like you've been hired as an assistant manager for a new movie theater. For this full-time job, you'll earn an annual salary of $37,000. Pretty tight, cool. Your first day of work is January 1st. So you started a couple months ago and you're paid bi-monthly. Does anyone know what bi-monthly means? Yeah, Antwane.
So basically twice a month. So you get paid
Yeah.
on the 14th and the 28th.
Yes, you're reading ahead for sure. You're getting paid twice a month. So 14 and 28. Most places pay like the middle of the month and the end of the month, or the beginning of the month and the end of the month, or beginning and middle. Or if it falls on a Saturday or Sunday, they pay you on the Friday before. So like when the 15th is on a Saturday, they pay you on the 14th, the Friday before. So deductions from your paycheck, for example, taxes and Social Security, and I would say also insurance, are 30% of your gross total income. So 30% of your paycheck comes out first before you even see any money, right? So the first question says, how much do you earn each payday before taxes? How much do you earn each payday? How could we figure out how much money we're gonna get if our wait, what does annual mean? What does annual mean?
Yearly.
Yearly. Thanks, Antwane. Yearly, I get 300 or 3,700. So what kind of math do I need to do in order to figure out how much each paycheck is? Divide. What am I going to divide by, Amy?
Would it be 37,000 divided by 24 because you get paid 24 times out of the whole entire year?
Yeah, Antwane, how'd you know it was 24 times in the year?
Because if you get paid twice a month and there's 12 months in a year, you multiply it by 2, you get 24.
For sure, for sure. So I'll go to my handy dandy calculator, 3,700 divided by 24. It's gonna be this number here. This number here, cool. So we get this here. So that is how much our paycheck is, right? That's how much our paycheck is. However, is that how much money my paycheck is actually gonna be for? Am I actually gonna, like, are they gonna
No.
write me a check? No,
No,
why not?
because taxes and all the 30% is gonna come out.
Yeah, 30% is gonna come out. How do I calculate 30% of this number?
Multiply
0.3.
by 0.30.
Yep, 0.3 or 0.30. What do I get? Somebody with my quick math.
$462 will be deducted out of that 1541.
Yes, for sure. So 462 will be deducted. I love that language, Antwane. So $462. So then my take home, how would I figure out how much my check's actually gonna be?
Subtract 462 from 1541, which will give you 1,078.5.
0.5. Yeah, dang. Okay. So $1,078. That's not very much, right? Not very much, but that's how much each paycheck's gonna be, 1,078. All right, question 3. How much can you save each payday? How much can I save? How much am I supposed to save? Remember the 50, 20, 30 rule? What percentage am I supposed to save?
20.
20% for sure. 20%. So then how can I figure out what how much that is based on my paycheck?
Multiply it by 0.2.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get 215.7.
0.7?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. So this is how much I can save each payday if I stick to my 20% rule, right? As long as I'm not doing crazy other spending, right? I can save $215. All right, next part of my scenario. You still live with your parents. Yay, no rent. That's great. Well, or maybe you're like helping with a little bit of the rent for your parents. The theater is a 45-minute commute by bus. Brutal. So you want to buy a car. So once you can save enough money. You've seen several cars that meet your needs that cost $6,500. Cool. All right. How many months will it take to save for this car? What kind of math can I do?
So basically what you're gonna want to do is, since you know that you saved $215.7, $215.07, 70 cents every month, you're basically gonna want to divide 6,500 by that number. And when you divide it by that number, you're then going to it's basically gonna tell you how long you're gonna take. So it's gonna be like months, but it's not really 30 months, it's 30 paychecks. And I meant 30, I don't know how to explain it, but you're gonna divide the 30 paychecks by 2 because you get 2 paychecks a month, which will give you 15. So basically take 15 months to get that car.
Oof. Yes, Antwane, you did a great job explaining. You did awesome. Right. So it's going to take us 15 months, like a little over a year, like a year and a quarter. Right. And that is if we are super diligent about keeping it. Yes. Antwane is killing it. Cool. All right. So if you're still with us, we are now done with 1 through 4. Heck yeah. So all you have to do is tell me one thing that you learned today and then take our 4-question quiz. I answered a lot of your questions too. So if you have any other questions about budgeting and saving, you can go ahead and add in those questions here in part 3. All right. But shout out to Antwane and to my other friends in the chat, Ozzy, Amy, everybody helping me in the chat. Thank you so much. But we are like mostly done with our assignment and we are 3 minutes early. So I will let you all head out. I'll go back to number 2 for sure. Y'all did amazing. Yes, college knowledge. Let's give Stephanie a round of applause for another amazing set of lessons and things that we should know before we go to college. So shout out some claps for sure to Steph and y'all did amazing as well. Thanks for your work on needs and wants. Good arguments on Apple Music and or Spotify. Good arguments, but I don't know. I'm not convinced yet, but maybe Antwane, you might convince me.
Aside, wait, miss. Aside from everything that I just talked about, I have to side with him too because I love my Apple Music. So we're just gonna leave that there.
You're just gonna find a way to budget it in. You know what? Honestly, you can spend your money however you want. You got 30% of your money to go to things that you want, right? So let's just budget that in. That sounds good.
Yes.
Another thing that I thought of was basically like if you paid all the things that you're supposed to do, you could squeeze it in, like make sure that's the last thing that you pay, put all your priorities first, basically.
Yeah, for sure. There are some months that I'm like, ooh, I really want, like, I bought some flowers for myself the other day. And I was like, I want these. And then I was like, okay, well, this means like, I just won't go to Starbucks tomorrow. And then it all works out, right? You can make trades for your priorities. All right, friends, you're free to go. I love you. Have a great Friday, Junior. Make sure you submit by, dude, just submit right now. Just submit right now. Just do it. You know, it's due by midnight, but just submit right now. You don't need to worry about this later. Have a great day. Happy birthday, JR.
Good luck on introns tomorrow.
Good luck on introns. Yeah. Good luck on introns. Adios.
Bye, miss.
Bye. Thanks, Antwane. See you later. Bye, friends. Subin, I'm so glad you were here. Angela, so glad you made it. Anna, bye, JR. Have a good day.
I love that pet shot. Great anime.
Yes. Yes. Amazing. Amazing. Awesome. Bye, friends. Angela, adios, amiga.